Webster, you recently learned shocking news that Myron Smith, the man you believe to be your dad, and who paid child support for you, may not be your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you've dragged the defendant, Mr. Ware, to paternity court to prove that he is your father and claim today's results will prove your case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ware, you admit that you had a relationship with Ms. Webster's mother around the time of conception, but say for the past 40 years you were told Mr. Smith was her father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Webster, tell me why you now believe Mr. Ware is your father.
Your Honor, I worked in a beauty salon with some of his relatives, and they always kind of had something against me. I heard a relative say that that's not none of your father. So I started questioning. I asked my mom, I talked to Mr. Smith, like, why are they saying that I'm not a part of their family?
When you questioned Mr. Smith, what did he say?
He said, you will always be my daughter. I believe in my heart that you are, and no matter what, you'll always be my daughter.
And that still wasn't answer enough for you. You still had doubts.
I still had doubts. I was a blood donor. We talked about blood types. And I know that the mother and the father of the child will have one or the other. And me and Mr. Smith don't have the same blood type. I was in question again. I'm very curious. I was with my cousin, Miss Smith, and she said, you know, I really believe in my heart that Mr. Ware is your father. She said, you walk like him. You chuckle like him. She said, if I close my eyes and you both chuckle, you wouldn't know the difference.
Really?
I had a baby book for a long time, and I never really started putting things together until the blood type wasn't the same. And I'm looking in the baby book, and there's relatives of Mr. Ware's family that signed in when I was born. They bought gifts. There was an address.
Really?
Yeah, they had the address.
Relatives of Mr. Ware.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have signed into your baby book when you were born.
Correct, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Ware,
Yes, ma'am.
you knew of this young woman,
Yes, I did.
but you do not believe you're her biological father.
No, I do not. Because at the time when her mom and I were dating, she was in between two cities, Louisville, Kentucky, and Dayton, Ohio. And she would spend months there and months here. And during that time, when she became pregnant, she explained to me that she was and that it was another man's child.
So she told you
Yes, she did.
that it was someone else's baby?
Yes, she did.
Did you ever do the math and think about when she possibly was conceived and whether or not you were in a relationship with her mother at that time?
No, Your Honor. At that time, being, I believe, around 15, 16 years old, I didn't know anything about timelines.
So you just took her word for it?
Yes.
At 15, 16 years old,
Yes,
I see
Your Honor.
that. So Ms. Webster says she would hear things. Did you ever get any trickles of information?
No, Your Honor, I never got anything, never got any information.
How did you lose contact? You all dated, were you boyfriend and girlfriend in high school?
Yes, Your Honor, we were, but we lost contact because a couple of years after that, I went into the military.
Okay. And when you came back, no one said to you, you may have a child?
No one said that to me, and the mom had moved back to Ohio, so I never saw her for years.
Were you there when her mom was pregnant?
Yes, I was there when her mom was pregnant. As a matter of fact, we continued to date at that point. I remember times being with the mom and rubbing her belly and just always there to support her.
Are you sure you had not impregnated her?
I was sure that I had not impregnated her because she told me that.
All right, so let's fast forward to the day you finally get to meet Mr. Ware.
We went to visit him at his church. I knew who he was, but he didn't know who I was. I just been praying, you know, that I find out who my father is. There's things in my life, there's roadblocks and stumbles I've been going through. There's things goals I'm achieving, and knowing who my father is one of them. And I came to the Lord. I went to the altar. They had altar call. And I went up and I just prayed that God give me a sign to reveal what's going on. So I'm praying and I'm nervous, but I just felt this energy. And when they asked for the prayer warriors to come out. And when I got up, Mr. Ware was standing right behind me. So out of all the
And did
people,
you know it was Mr. Ware?
When I was down, no, I didn't know who was standing there when I got up. You know, I get up and I turn around and he's right there. So, I mean, it's got to be some energy. It's got to be something. It can't be in vain. You are a deacon, right?
Yes, I am.
And he's a spiritual person. Did
Did
I
you
know?
know it was her? Did you know it was Miss Webster, this baby?
I did
That
not.
you knew before she even left the womb? Did you know?
No, I did not know at that time until she introduced herself.
Well, I also went to meet your mother, and she said, I knocked on the door, and I said, hi, I'm Demisha, I'm Marsha's daughter. And she stepped back, she said, well, baby, what took you so long? Did your mama get that blood test done?
Maybe my mom knew something that I didn't know. But at that time, I took it from her mother to be truth that this was not my child. I never believed in my heart that she was my child.
So you did not feel a connection like this could be my daughter? The way in which she says your mother reacted when she met her and said, what took you so long?
No, Your Honor, I did not. The fact of the matter is that you are not my child. I love you like a child and like a sister, but you're not my child.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
My name is Tamara Smith, and I grew up in the household with Demisha's mother, Miss Webster.
Okay.
Mr. Ware was like a part of our family. I know what Miss Webster may have told him, that he wasn't the father, but I believe in my heart when Miss Webster left Louisville to move back to Dayton, Ohio, that she left her pregnant.
How is it that as the cousin, you know more than the mother? Or is it something you observed? You knew that they were in a sexual relationship around the time?
Yes.
So you know for certain that around the time Miss Webster was conceived,
Yes.
your cousin, which is her mother, was having sex with Mr. Ware.
Yes, I know that.
Do you know anything about why her mother chose to tell him you're not the father?
I think she may have told him because when she moved back to Dayton, she started a relationship with this other guy. I think that's what happened.
Well, I wanted to get your opinion on it, and Ms. Webster's mother is in court today, so I'm going to have a chance to ask her that very same question. But before we get to that point, I'd like to speak to the other possible father. Ron, can you please escort him into the courtroom?
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to go right up here to the witness stand, please.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Smith. As you know, we're here discussing the paternity as it relates to Miss Webster. You have been paying child support.
Yes, I have.
But you don't believe you're her biological father.
No, I don't. I can tell you why.
Please.
Miss Webster was born September the 17th, which means that she had to be conceived either late December or January of 76 or late December of 75. I was in the United States Army, stationed in Fort Hood, Texas.
Really?
See, right there. She was born September the 17th. Last time I was home on leave was late November. So in order for her to be born in September, she had to be conceived either late December or early January. I was in Fort Hood, Texas.
And if you come home for Thanksgiving, that's too far away.
Yeah,
That's
that
almost...
would make Miss Brady 42 weeks pregnant. And I don't know nobody that carried a child 42 weeks.
So how did you end up paying child support if you weren't even there?
Because I was raised to do the right thing and I was naive about it and I signed the papers.
Miss Webster, you were initially told he was your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Smith has always said, no matter what, you'll always be my daughter. So I just accepted it. But as the older I got, I'm like, it's not adding up. It's not making sense. And then
They don't share a father-daughter relationship.
I can see that this confusion just really eats away at you. I can see it in your eyes.
it does, Your Honor. It's just like there's something missing. I just want to know who I belong to. My identity. I deserve to know that.
Yes, you do.
I feel that I can get some closure and move on. I might be a bride one day. I need my dad to walk me down the aisle. I have grandchildren. I might need advice.
You're right. You deserve that. I want to get some more answers for you. I would like to call your mother into the courtroom. And Mr. Smith, I'm going to ask you to please step down.
Yes, ma'am.
And stand right next to Mr. Ware, if you don't mind.
Brady, you would. We're going to walk up to the witness stand right next to the judge up there.
Miss Brady, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Of course, we are here regarding your daughter and her search to find her father. What was going on at the time? And who is her biological father?
Her biological father is Mr. Myron Smith.
Standing right there.
Yes.
He says he was gone. He was serving the time that she was conceived. Is that not true?
Right. But Mr. Smith also came home on leave. Once we got together, Mr. Smith went back to the service, and then I was pregnant. When Mr. Smith called me one day, I said, you know what? I'm pregnant.
I've never received that call, Your Honor.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
You don't remember this conversation,
No,
Mr.
I don't,
Smith?
not at all.
Oh.
When I come home from the military, I got a letter in the mail stating that I had to come down to the child support. When I got there, Miss Webster, Miss Brady was there. She said that Miss Webster's dead. So, being naive, I just took her for a word. I signed the papers. I said, because I'm going to do the right thing and step up to the plate. If it's my child, then I'm going to be there for her. But as she got older in time and you start hearing different things and different parts of stories of this, that, and the other, and Miss Webster and myself got together some years ago and discussed this about, we went into detail about, you know, who her natural dad is. And I think we both should know because we've been struggling with this for over 10, 15 years now, and I feel like that we both should know.
And Miss Brady, do you have any doubts
No.
as to whether or not Mr. Smith is Miss Webster's biological
No.
father? You don't. You will say it just as plain.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
it's him.
Yes.
And you're positive.
Yes.
So when Mr. Ware talks about being there and rubbing your stomach and all of that, you weren't also in a relationship with him?
I was in a relationship with Mr. Ware. He was my supporter. He did everything for me, with me, and everything. But he's not the father.
So why do you think your cousin is saying this?
I don't know why Miss Smith is saying this. She know more than I do, I guess.
She said she remembers during the time Miss Webster was conceived that you were also sleeping with and having a relationship with Mr. Ware.
Right.
So you were.
Right.
So he is potentially.
No, it's not Mr. Ware's baby.
Okay, well.
It's not.
All right, the only way we are truly going to get down to the bottom of this, since everyone seems to have a different story, is to get the results. Ron, the envelope, please.
I have two, ma'am.
Thank you. In the case of Webster v. Ware, when it comes to 40-year-old Demisha Webster, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Smith, you are not her father. Are you surprised?
Hurt? Yes. Surprised? No.
I thank you for everything that you've done for me.
Always, baby.
I appreciate you. And like you said,
Always. Always, sweetie. All you gotta do is call me. You know I'm coming.
Miss Brady, you just told me you were sure.
I thought I was sure. I thought I really had it in my heart that Mr. Smith
We were kids.
was her dad.
Well, I have the results here for Mr. Ware. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows.
Let me say this before you read those results. Isha was named for my cousin Marika and Mr. Ware. His middle name and Marika's name together, and that's how she got to be Demisha.
Mr. Ware, did you know she was named after you?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. And of course, Marcia and I, we got together to name her at the
Yes.
time. I do remember that.
You dated through the process, you named her together, but you were sure he was not the father?
Right.
And you made him certain he was not the father?
Right.
Let's go to the results. In the case of Webster versus Ware, when it comes to 40-year-old Demisha Webster, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Ware, you are not her father. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sit down.
Have a seat right here, please.
Sit down.
We shouldn't
love
have
you.
opened up a can of worms. That can of worms should have been closed.
But I deserve to know.
Baby, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I have to ask you, who do you remember? Do you have any idea?
No.
It's all good. This doesn't do nothing but make me stronger. It don't even matter at this point. I'm 40 years old. My stepfather's been in my life. He's raised his grandkids, my kids. He's been there. That's my dad.
Mr. Pierce,
Yes, Your
you are
Honor.
summoning your ex-fiancée, Ms. Covell, for a paternity test to prove that her 1-year-old son, Julian, is not your son.
That is correct, Your Honor.
You claim Ms. Covell deceived you into believing you were the father, and it wasn't until Julian was 6 months old when she finally confessed she had cheated and you may not be the father.
Correct, Your Honor.
Now, you're suing for fraudulent misrepresentation, am I correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Covell, you admit that you cheated around the window of conception, but you still say you have no doubt Mr. Pierce is your child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Covell, how do you feel about being dragged into court today?
I'm a little upset. I want to prove that he's the father. I want to show him that I have been telling the truth. I know I made a mistake, but I've been paying for it every single day since I've told him.
So, Mr. Pierce,
Yes,
you believe this was truly necessary because you have doubt, am I correct?
Correct, Your Honor. I just, it's happened to me in the past before. And I just have this doubt, and it's killing our family. It's killing the relationship I do have with the kids, and it hurts. It truly hurts.
I can see that it really does. And you have an older child together, and this is destroying your family.
Correct, Your Honor. And it's happened to me before. I mean, going back 10 years ago, I've had the same thing happen to me. I had a lady get pregnant, a young woman get pregnant. I was 18 years old, but she told me at the time that it may not be my child. But I still was a man that stepped up to the plate, went to all the appointments, went to the birthing, and still took care of that kid. And at 6 months old, me and the mother weren't together. We were separated. She wanted child support. 6 months old, they forced me to do a DNA test. I said no, because the child looked exactly like me. As you can see, this child looks nothing like me. And with the other child, like I said, it was a spitting image of me. It came back negative.
And you now feel this history could repeat itself.
Correct, Your Honor.
And
I don't want
destroy
that
your
to happen.
family. You've called off your engagement.
Correct. When I found out, I just had to call it off. I mean, there's no sense in really trying to go for a marriage because it's not true.
How do you feel when you hear Mr. Pierce say these things, Ms. Covell?
It really hurts me. I know I made a mistake at one time. We were both going through an emotional roller coaster at that time period. I made a mistake one time. I understand that my son looks nothing like him, but he looks identical to me when I was a baby.
You don't see no color in that baby.
Take me back. I want to understand how you uncovered and discovered that Ms. Covell was cheating.
Well, around Valentine's Day, around her birthday, we got engaged. I proposed to her. She was pregnant with Julian at the time. And it was after he was born. We were going really good. And I don't know what came over me, but I was just like, we're doing really good right now. We're whatever. If there's anything you got to tell me, let's get it out the air right now. I'm not going to get mad because we're so in a good place right now. It was like, here's your free pass. She told me, that she had cheated on me back, I can't remember the exact month that she cheated on me, and I lost it. I mean, I started crying. I was very upset, and I asked her, I was like, so was it around the same time? Is it possibly his?
And so, Ms. Covell, why did you finally come clean in that moment? Why not say something before?
From day number one, I had been wanting to tell him. My conscience was eating at me. It was killing me. But because we were in such a good place, I didn't want to ruin everything that we had. So that was my perfect opportunity. I didn't want to continue lying. He asked me directly, so I wanted to make sure that I told him the truth. I tried to tell him the whole story in one night. He wasn't having it, so it took about 3 days for everything to finally unfold and for me to finally tell him, yes, it was about the same time period as when I got pregnant with my son.
Why wouldn't you tell me before?
You're right, I should have told you sooner. I should have told you sooner.
What he's named after, who he's named after.
I should have told you from day one. You're right, I should have, but I was really scared.
You know, that's kind of
I
disrespectful.
was scared of losing you. I was scared of losing my family.
I mean, that's a family name that he's got.
I was afraid of losing my family if I told you. My plan was to honestly never tell you. But I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't.
How can you not tell somebody like?
I couldn't deal with it. My conscience wouldn't let me.
Is that fair to him?
No, you're right, and that's why I'm here today.
But when it comes to another person's life, knowing what I've been through before, I always thought you would be the one girl that wouldn't do that to me. You know, now that you did it, what else?
I'm sorry.
What else can I
I'm
believe?
sorry a million times. I have said I'm sorry. And I can't say it enough. I just want to prove my
the biggest
point. I want
sorry
to
we'll
prove
find out
myself.
today is if it's right, that's the biggest sorry you can ever tell me.
Yep, that's why I'm here.
Mr. Pierce, Ms. Covell, I want to understand the timeline, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, and I hate to bring up painful memories, but that's how we get to the truth. Little Julian, when was he born?
May 13th.
May 13th. So this is here. Explain to the court about when you had that moment where you fell short and cheated.
It was in September. I don't remember the exact date. I had just lost a baby.
Early September, middle September?
It was early September.
All right.
I thought it was in August.
I told you beginning of September.
Did you say the end of August, beginning of September?
Somewhere around that.
Okay,
time.
that could take us back in here.
Okay.
So you cheated right around here. If you count the months, that's looking like the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, it seems like you both love each other deeply. How did you end up in the arms of another man?
After I lost that baby, he was very supportive on and off while I was in the hospital. I didn't feel like he was
there.
I didn't feel like he was there for me. You say you were there. You might have been there physically, but not emotionally.
You know,
you were not there. And the other guy was asking me, are you okay? Have you, we miss you at work. I felt emotionally like he was more there for me. And when we hung out the one time, just one thing led to another. And it got to be.
How do we know that's the only time, though? Can anybody just say any couple words and make you feel good?
Go ahead and take the lie detector test. It was only one time thing.
I want a lie detector test. I mean, even after the baby, if he does prove to be mine, how do I know that it's not happened any other time? I mean, you're the queen of being late. You always...
Okay.
You work 5 minutes away from home, and every day there's something. Oh, I had to take this person home. Oh, well, I had to stay and finish this. Oh, we got busy, I had to do this.
I do my job.
Okay,
I make sure that my work is done.
How am I supposed to think when
stay
you're 5 minutes away and every day you come home at a different time and you cheated with one of your ex-coworkers? How am I not to think that time that you're coming or working?
Do I not ever bring time punch slips home? If you ever
Not all
have a
the time.
question,
I mean, I don't want the
because
time
I
slips.
understand.
That's not. I shouldn't have to feel that way. I shouldn't have to feel like I have to.
You're
see
right.
A time slip.
You're right. You shouldn't.
Mr. Pierce.
Like I said, I messed up one time and I've paid for it every day of my life since.
So, Mr. Pierce, basically, this mistake has not only led you to question Julian's paternity, but also to question your entire relationship.
Correct, Your Honor. 'Cause I always thought that, she was the good girl. She was never going to do this to me, knowing what happened. And once that happened, what else can I really believe? That was the worst thing that could happen to me.
In addition to the DNA test you request today, you're also requesting a lie detector test.
Correct, Your Honor.
We have, in fact, administered that test, and the results will be revealed shortly. You have this beautiful baby. When you look at this child, what are you thinking?
Every time I look at him, it kills me. I want to show you a couple pictures here, Your Honor, that I brought for evidence.
I'd like to see that. Jerome, will you hand it to me,
First
please?
off, this is my baby picture. Then this is Julian's baby picture.
Okay.
And I've cropped them here together, and you can see them side by side. Like every time I look at them, I have how can I
You're
not
right,
see?
though. He doesn't look like you. He looks identical to me. And my
I
baby
understand that,
too.
and I don't want to take it out on him, but
So,
with
Mr.
it not being
Pierce,
100, how can I not? Every
This
time
is
I
a
look at him.
picture of,
That was me at about 6 months old.
all right, so we're looking at you at about 6 months.
Correct.
And then now,
You can see the complexion, the dark hair. I mean,
this next photo is
Julian.
Julian
And you
at
see
6
it's
months.
blonde as can be. My daughter, I'm only half Mexican, but my daughter, you could still see all the Mexican in her. She's got dark hair. Yeah, she's got blue eyes, but she's got the dark hair. She's got the complexion, you know what I'm saying? Everything's right. The man she cheated with was white. That looks completely like a white baby. I mean,
That's
there's
what I was
no-
about to ask you. What does the gentleman you cheated with look like?
He is white. He is white. He does have blonde hair. But blonde hair also runs in both sides of our family.
He looks nothing like me, and I'm not saying he's not mine, but how can I not think that every time I look at him, I don't see me?
So now, what's your relationship been like since all of this has transpired?
It's not there. It's just been going downhill ever since this has happened. We bicker and fight all the time, and just now it's
And so
just
this
went all
marriage
down.
ultimately is in jeopardy because of this situation.
Correct. I've took back the ring and everything just because I can't do it. I mean, if the results come back that he's not mine, I don't think we can save the relationship, period.
So the stakes are very high. Ms. Covell, how has Mr. Pierce acted towards Julian?
Life has turned upside down completely. Throughout the day, he tries to be a good dad. He tries to play with them. I'm not even allowed to work third shift anymore because when he wakes up in the middle of the night, Alan doesn't want to.
That's not completely why. Third shift, I mean, we've already said, I've worked the third shift at her work. I know that you can sneak off, do whatever.
You have told me it's
Very
because of a
laid back.
personal level that you cannot watch Julian. If I work third shift, you don't have a problem as long as I have a sitter for Julian. He has his older sister that plays with him and keeps him occupied. Alan does not want to look Julian in the eyes. That's what it comes down
I
to.
spend every day with him.
You don't like to look at him in the eyes. That's
Is
what
it that
hates you.
painful, Mr. Pierce?
Yes, and every time I look at him, it's a reminder, I want to be able to look at him and see me, not see a question mark.
It's a beautiful thing to know that this matters so much to you as a man, as a father.
I don't want to be a bad dad. It's just, I realize I'm affecting him by not developing that more personal bond, but sometimes you got to be greedy and think about how can I be happy knowing that and feeling that way to be happy for my daughter. You got to be happy with yourself to be happy for your kids.
And so in those moments where maybe you're pulling away, my concern is maybe he feels that pull.
And I don't want him to feel that. I don't want to take it out on him. He's never done nothing. It's not his fault. I mean, that's
Your
the
Honor.
worst thing that can happen.
I'm not the girl that he really now believes that I am and thinks that I am. I'm not that girl.
Listen, everything that's happened in the past or thus far obviously hasn't solved the problem. Because you're here today.
Yes.
Correct.
I have the results for you, the lie detector results and the paternity results. I'd like to get the paternity results first. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Pierce versus Covell, pertaining to 1-year-old Julian Pierce, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Pierce, you are Julian's father. Great news, right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're so welcome.
I'm sorry. I really
Sorry,
am
too.
sorry for putting you through all that.
I'm sorry too, and hopefully we can just move on from here and build back to what we had and what we can have.
also have the lie detector results, because your concern was that this was not just a one-time thing, that potentially there were more lies or instances of cheating, and at this point, this has warped your sense of security in the relationship.
Correct, Your Honor.
Are you sure you'd like to hear the results?
Might as well not go back with no regret.
All right.
Yep.
Ms. Covell met with a licensed polygraph expert, and she was asked, Ms. Covell, have you had sexual relationships more than once with the man you cheated with? You said no. The lie detector determined that was the truth. Ms. Covell, you were asked if during your relationship with Mr. Pierce, had you had sexual relations with any other man besides the one you admitted to? You said no. The lie detector determined that was the truth. Ms. Reed, you are demanding that Ms. Austin have a paternity test administered on her child, whom she claims was fathered by your estranged husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're hoping the DNA test will prove that your husband is not her baby's father. Additionally, you are suing his mistress, Miss Austin, in the amount of $5,000 for alienation of affections. You argue that her affair has left you struggling financially as well.
Correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Austin, you say you are here today to defend your reputation and prove that Mr. Wallace is the father of your child. You argue that you do not owe Ms. Reed anything and she needs to move on with her life and pay her own bills.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Reed, how did you find out about Ms. Austin?
Okay, Your Honor, I found out about Mrs. Austin. One day I came in from the hospital from having my second child, and Rael's phone rang, and I just so happened to answer the phone. And Mrs. Austin, she said, I'm Rael's girlfriend. I said, Rael's girlfriend, did you know that Rael was engaged to me or whatever and just had a baby? She said, no. I packed my things and I left with my 2 kids at the time, and I went and stayed at my aunt's house. Rael called my aunt's house several times trying to apologize for what he had done. Later on, I accepted Rael's apology. So later on down the line, Rael again, I walks in, sees him on the phone with Mrs. Austin again. He tells me he's trying to break up with her. The phone call was like 3 to 2 hours long. It doesn't say someone 2 or 3 hours to break up with someone.
Okay.
But I forgave him again, knowing it was wrong, and got back in a relationship with him.
You took him back again.
Yes.
You then married him.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Ms. Austin, how did you get involved with a married man? We hear it may have started before the marriage and continued.
When I met Rael, they was not married. He nor told me that they was engaged neither. I found out on Facebook that Rael and Mrs. Reed was married when she posted a picture up there of their marriage life. That's when I found out. And yes, I did confront Rael about the marriage, but at the same token, Rael would never came to me if Dominique was Miss Reed was taking care of home right.
So what you're saying actually is that you didn't have any regret or remorse about it because you felt like if she was handling her business, he wouldn't be over talking to you.
Right. Your Honor, that means that she didn't mind playing the role as his little mistress, because any woman wouldn't sit there and be in a relationship with a man that has a woman. Like, as me as myself, I have respect, and I don't want to be no one's mistress.
So, Ms. Austin, what's your response to that?
Well, he led me on. When they was married, Rael was calling, he was texting me, telling me how he wants to get away from Dominique, The reason why he said he was with her is because of her money. That's what he said.
Your Honor, like, he was staying telling her that he needed money to get away from me, but the money that she was sending Rayel, he was taking me out with her money, or like if my kids, my child or whatever needed Pampers or milk, he'll take that money and go buy them the things that they needed.
So now, Ms. Austin, you claim that Mr. Wallace is the father of your child.
Yes.
Your Honor, how was he the father of her child when there was another man involved?
My ex-boyfriend, the ones who she go with down. I don't know if they go together.
Oh,
but
wait now. Say that again?
Yes, the man that's the other person who they say that is my daughter Muriel's father is her man, that my ex, who that she is dating now.
Your Honor, I can explain that situation, Your Honor.
Oh, please do.
I did that out of revenge. At the time, Rayel was cheating on me with her. So I noticed that Demiria was messaging a boy up on Facebook telling him how she missed him. So how about I get revenge on Rayel and talk to her boyfriend? Yes, I did it to hurt Rayel and I did it to hurt her. And so Rayel could see it's not okay to cheat on someone and misuse them and tell them you love them, and that's not what you do to someone you love. You don't cheat on them and you don't misuse them, period. That's what I did it for.
Well, all right. Well, I think we need to see who these women are fighting over. Jerome, I want to meet Mr. Wallace. Can you please escort him into the courtroom? Sure. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
How you doing?
Mr. Wallace, let me ask you. You married to Ms. Reed,
Yes.
but you were sleeping with Ms. Austin.
Yes.
You had a baby with Ms. Reed.
3, Your Honor.
3.
Correct.
You might have a baby with Ms. Austin.
Allegedly.
You busy. You just standing there, Mr. Wallace, like you don't have a piece of remorse in the world. Now, you don't?
No, ma'am.
You don't have any issues with cheating on your wife?
No, she's not a victim.
She's not?
No.
Oh, fill us in.
First off, she wasn't a good wife. She rarely cooks, she doesn't clean.
Correction.
I cheated because I was bored in my marriage.
Oh.
I was too young to get married in the first place.
So why did you get married?
Because I felt like it was the right thing to do, because I was being pressured and I had 3 kids with her. So
Correction, Your Honor. If you was pressured to be in a relationship with me, why did you constantly come home to me? Why did you constantly, every time I got off work, was there, and you could have left and went home to your mother, your sister, or whoever the case may be? Your Honor,
she says you kept coming back to her, Mr. Wallace, over and over again, and she said that you were spending Ms. Austin's money that she was sending to you
to go
on
to
her.
correct. And
yes.
Everybody's laughing. But the scary thing is there's children involved. I mean, you are people's parents. Mr. Wallace, you admit to being intimate with Ms. Austin.
correct.
So do you believe her child is your child?
No, ma'am.
Why is that?
Because she has.
Don't you say no, boy, and she look just like you. She look just like you.
the other
She got
guy.
everything. Everything on you, she got on that, everything.
She looked like the other guy, who is currently her boyfriend.
I had sex with Rayel first, and I used unprotected sex with Rayel, and I used protected sex with the other boy. But
Your Honor, she's lying. The boy told me that he had unprotected sex with Demiria several times because he do not like to use protection.
So let me just ask off the fly. Who, baby, do you want it to be? Your husband?
No, Your Honor.
Or your boyfriend?
I'd rather for...
So let me just ask off the fly. Who, baby, do you want it to be? Your husband?
No, Your Honor.
Or your boyfriend?
I'd rather for...
Fill me in on that.
Your Honor, I'd rather for it to be his because I feel like ever since Rayel had other kids on my kids, My kids get the short end of the stick. They rarely see their dad. Like when I take them to see him, I have to like leave them with him in order for them to spend time with their father. So I feel like before her child even got in the picture, Rayel was there for my kids for whatever. Like watched them, gave them whatever. But now that Mrs. Austin's child is in the picture, my kids have to suffer, and I feel that it's not right.
You're emotional now. What is it?
Because the whole situation is just wrong. I was there for Rayel for whatever, and he still went out and cheated on me with Mrs. Austin, and it was wrong.
You feel like it was her fault that he went out?
I feel like it was his fault too because, like, she didn't know what was going on, like she said. Rayel was sitting up lying to her, so I can't really blame her. But then again, I can because she knew all about me and still slept with my husband. She still was in a relationship with my husband.
It's not her fault we're not together. It's your fault.
You're right, it's my fault because I left you. That's why we're not together, because I left you and went out and talked to someone else. That's why we're not together. So then again, it's your fault why we're not together.
So we're going to get the results of this paternity test shortly, but I have another witness, Jerome. There is another witness I'd like to hear from in this matter. Have a seat right up here by me. Thank you. State your name for the court, please, ma'am.
Kendra Roberts.
Thank you so much. Now, what brings you to court today? What would you like to add?
I also have a 5-month-old child by Mr. Wallace that he claims he's not the father of.
You also have a 5-month-old child that you say was fathered by Mr. Wallace, but he's denying that child as well.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. Just 1 second. We're going to get down to the bottom of this, but first, I need to deal with the people in front of me. You have a suit where you are suing Ms. Austin for alienation of affection.
Correct, Your Honor.
For the amount of $5,000.
Correct, Your Honor.
But what we found out today through testimony and confirmation is that Mr. Wallace actually went after Ms. Austin.
Correct.
Now, in order for you to sue for alienation of affection, you have to prove that this woman, young woman, planned to destroy your marriage. I don't see that. It was his free will that started this affair. Are we clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
So for this reason, my judgment is for the defendant. Now it's time to go to the results. Jerome, you have the envelope?
I certainly do.
Thank you. As per these results prepared by DNA Diagnostics, in the case of Reed versus Austin, when it comes to baby Demuriel, Mr. Wallace, you are her father.
Told you, dummy. She looks just like you, dummy. Everything, dummy.
You sitting there saying that, but you wishing on strings. Sorry.
No,
yes.
Not really.
Yes.
No,
yes, you are hoping on strings.
No.
Yes, because you slept Rayel. Okay, stop talking.
No, I don't gotta stop talking.
I wasn't hoping on strings because mine was already Oh, you talking to her?
Oh, you.
Now
No,
listen.
you're not. You're not talking to me because mine's already been in.
Let's get some order. You all have 3 children together. Now we know you, Mr. Wallace, have another one. And maybe one sitting right here with this young lady. The fact that when you got this result, both of you 2 ladies start going at it and Mr. Wallace just standing there looking like he ain't got nothing to do with it when he got everything to do with everything in here is very interesting to me. See, I get this situation. It's a lot of immaturity here. There are children here that need you all to grow up right now. You've made your choices. You all have chosen to bring children into this world. Now you need to live up to it. I want you all to get it together. Now, for you 2, Ms. Roberts, Mr. Wallace, I am going to send you to DNA Diagnostics today because I want to get down to the bottom of whether or not you, Mr. Wallace, are in fact her child's father. That would give you 2 5-month-old children. Court is adjourned. I will see you back in this courtroom with the DNA results. Ms. Roberts, you are here requesting a paternity test to prove to the defendant, Mr. Wallace, that he is the father of your 5-month-old son, Danielle. You have asked the court to administer a lie detector test to prove he's still trying to be with you. Mr. Wallace, you say that if the results come back negative, you would like her to stay away from you and your current girlfriend, Ms. Austin. Ms. Reed. Now, you are here once again to find out if your husband, Mr. Wallace, is the father of yet another child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Woo! Ms. Roberts, please tell the court how you met the defendant and ended up in this situation.
I met him around my auntie's house. He was walking down the street. I started flirting with him. You know, he looked good to me or whatever, so I started flirting with him. Yeah. So I started flirting, but he did not tell me, you know, he was in a relationship or none of that. It's just...
He didn't tell you he was married to Ms. Reed?
He did not tell me he was married. Miss Austin told me that he was married.
Oh, wait. What did you know about his relationship with Ms. Austin?
One day, she supposed to have snuck into his phone and sent us texting or whatever, so she called me.
Okay.
So when she called me, I'm like, hello. She said, hello. Did he tell you he had a girlfriend that we was in a relationship?
Mr. Wallace, as for Ms. Roberts, when you met her, did you tell her you were married?
I forgot.
Forgot?
How could you forget about a marriage? Oh, because he ain't wear the ring, so he ain't care
You
about
forgot you were married or forgot to tell her?
It just slipped my mind.
Let me remind you that you have 2 women that may each have a 5-month-old child by you. Matter of fact, one we've established previously, she does. So now there may be another. Did you forget that?
No, ma'am, but I don't believe that child is mine.
Why?
The baby don't have any of my features.
You said that about the last one, I remember.
Dummy, goofy, great.
The child looked like the rest of her kids, and I believe the same guy who is the father of her 4 other kids is the father of that baby. She's 22, she has 5 kids.
I sure do.
Wow.
I sure do. And you got 4, and what you do for him? Oops.
Your Honor, can I speak?
Yes, Ms. Reed, what I want to know from you right now is how did you figure out that there were 2 women pregnant by your husband?
Okay, I found out about Demuriel because she was calling Ryan's phone and Facebooking him.
Ms. Wallace?
Yes.
Okay, Miss Austin.
Correction. I found out about... Sorry.
See, y'all trying to confuse me.
Sorry.
Ms. Austin.
Right.
I found
Soon
out...
to be Miss Wallace.
Whoa, I'm sorry?
Soon to be Miss
Correction.
Wallace.
Oh, my God.
Correction.
Oh, my God.
Ryan told me
my God.
that he wasn't marrying anyone else. Sorry, so I'm sorry
wanna be
that
the
he's...
wife so bad.
Ryan told me. Didi, chill. Chill, Didi. Chill, Didi. Chill, Didi. Chill, Didi. Chill. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Walk out. Walk out. Get your hand on my face. You mad. You mad. You mad.
Stay right there. You messy. Real talk.
But Kenny, you don't. Kenny, you don't.
It's Wallace.
See what I have to go through, Judge?
Mr. Wallace, you know what? This is a sad state of affairs to see 3 beautiful young women